every single break of every tournament, we were anywhere near each other, we'd run to the corner. And one time we were throwing like $5,000 chips for like $100 side bets, and the janitor just looked at us and was like, "What is wrong with people?" Like, it's all we had. Like, we just had 5 games.
Me and my buddy, we making all of this money. Yeah, I know it's rude to be bragging. They never catching us slacking. Me and my buddy.
All right, welcome internet people to the Table One podcast. Art Parmann, Justin Young, and very little known poker player to the poker Up and comer.
Yeah. Shauna?
Yeah, how do you say it?
Shaun.
Shaun Deeb is on.
Yeah, when I Googled you, I didn't know it was U-A-N, even though it was that way in my phone.
A-U-N.
Yeah. What did I say?
You're slightly dyslexic like I am.
Yeah, that's it.
I think you were thinking of Schwan Liz. You sent me a picture. She was wearing the Table One patch at the Aria. You got
She
her.
was. Schwann's even supporting Table One. That's nice. And now we have Shaun.
She'll sell out for anything.
Wow. All right, let's start.
Coming in hot.
All right, welcome, Shaun.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's always fun to get a little time during the series, do a little podcast. You know, I don't know you very well, Art. I've known Justin. Me and him do degenerate gambling every time we see each other.
Have to.
You know, just in Florida, we were throwing chips into a wine glass at the table, and the one time we weren't doing it for money, I fucking sank it.
Yeah.
And then I just bricked everyone. So, of course, Justin Prince when I would have buried him.
Yeah, but I kept on giving you better odds. I think at the end it was like 12-1 or something like that. But
We knew it was impossible. Like, we were talking about how hard it was, and then I literally, while conversation, just throw it in there. And this was not like a big, bold red wine glass. It was like a narrow white wine glass that he was drinking red wine out of. And it was the greatest shot of my life.
The last time someone threw a chip into one of my glasses, his name was actually also Shaun. It was Shaun Daniels. And he threw it across the table. It landed in my whiskey glass, shattered it into a million pieces, and I got whiskey all over my lap.
You probably had whiskey already on your lap, and you blamed that.
Okay, maybe.
But yeah, on top of that, some of the other ones we've done, I know we used to stand near a wall and throw a chip, and whoever got closest to the wall without touching the wall won.
The quarters game. Every single break of every tournament, we were anywhere near each other, we'd run to the corner. And one time we were throwing like $5,000 chips for like $100 side bets, and the janitor just looked at us and was like, "What is wrong with you people?" Like, it's all we had. Like, we just had 5 games.
and I think we got cut off from doing that because we're not allowed to gamble away. From, this is like, oh, you guys can't gamble away.
Yeah, Borgata, they yelled at us.
It was so weird. And another one, like whatever, like I don't remember if it's Bellagio or whatever, but like there was like an O, like at one end of the table or whatever.
No, we did that. That was at the World Series. So we had to throw our Annie chip. It was back when they had big regular Annies.
Yeah.
And we had to hit it in the logo every time the hand we would hand would be it. We would throw an Annie and we'd like both be throwing.
And like I was winning so much that like I was sitting on the WSO, like that,
he
that
had the
side,
short side.
So he was on the OP part. So like all he had to do was go like this and he was going to win, but like he just couldn't win.
Man, I know you guys have played like a lot of poker together. I didn't realize you guys had degen together so much.
That's all we do.
Yeah.
I don't know what our friendship is based on. But
yeah. I think I'm like the only poker player your wife likes.
That might be true.
Sorry, I put
No, that's kind of fair.
She puts on a brave face for me.
It took us a while. I met her down in Texas. Well, did he tell you about his Texas stories when we were playing cash?
Probably not. Let's hear one.
I mean,
we were 8-handed game with Phil Hellmuth in it and a bunch of good players.
Fun players, yeah, they were fun.
And basically we had the stand-up game on, and he lost, I think, the first 4 times we had it on.
It was one of the most upsetting things in my life.
Yes.
Wow. You usually don't lose the stand-up game.
Oh, I tried. I didn't fold my way to losing.
He put on a good show of losing like 80,000 at quarter 50 or 51.
Yeah, I think it was quarter 50, and I was just like, I after the first time of losing the stand-up, it's like, all right, Justin, you're better than this. Come on, like, you know. And the second time, it was like, motherfuckers, let's go. And the third time, it's just like, King Jack, good enough for me, 30,000.
Yeah. I'll show you. Take my money.
You guys called? You can't have better than King Jack, right?
That's incredible.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun when we get to play cards together.
Yeah, which doesn't happen enough, I will say.
I'm sorry, you live out here. I don't ever come to Vegas outside the series, and when I'm here, I have no time for cash games.
I have seen. You are. Do you have any bracelets bets this year?
I had 7 figures in bets, but the person I had the bets with had a health problem, so I let him cancel the bets.
Oh, it was a crossbook or like a you versus him must win?
I laid 3-2 on, or no, I laid 2-1 on most bracelets. I laid 3-2 on most fantasy points, and I laid 2-1 on must win POI.
Wow, that's I want to know who this is now. But
It was Texas Mike.
what happened? Health?
He has a heart condition.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why he had to get out of the $1 million game. Like he said about this publicly, so that's why I think it's okay to bring up. But yeah, so he's got I think a pacemaker, external. I don't know, some medical condition that has caused him lots of problems. And super great kid. Really, one of the people I'm really happy to get to know at the World Series. And he's just always smiling, happy. Like lives a good life. Met his brother. His brother's a great kid too. So. So one of those people that I'm always like, I want, like you. It's like I want to go where they are and hang out more and play cards and have some fun and do some drinking.
We actually, our game had a crossbook on the $1 million game where he lost whatever the amount it was. So we all randomly drew for people, and it was like a 0.25% like crossbook against everybody. It got way bigger than everyone anticipated. we were thinking like, people like win $1 million or lose $1 million, and that's kind of like where the barriers were. We were proven wrong.
Yeah, it played big this time. There's some interesting hands going down.
But yeah, like that being said, like watching Texas Mike play, and I've only got to play with him twice in my life, but like, yeah, I agree with you. Perfect guy coming into poker, degenerate, like gambler.
Yeah,
it's
he's
nice.
just me and you just 10 years earlier.
Right.
With a lot bigger bankroll to start.
Yeah.
That kind of helps.
Yeah.
Oh man, normally on this podcast we just go back in time and we do like the startup story, but I'm loving that. I just want to hear.
No, let's go back in time. We need to do this. All right.
Okay, we have to do it.
So my mom and dad had intercourse. And
All right.
What position? What position? Can we get them on the phone?
Oh, that's not the
All right. So again, I read on Wikipedia you were like 16 when you started like playing online. Is that accurate?
No. I was 16. I played home. I got invited by one of my cousins to go to we played on a pool table, $20 sit and go. I said this is fun, and then I decided to run tournaments at my house, post on AOL Instant Messenger.
What was your messenger name?
Shaun Deeb man.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
great.
we ask all our guests. We really do.
Whenever Instant Messenger comes up, we get it. I was Pimp Smack 2005, so you don't have a lot of competition in terms of most embarrassing name.
That explains this room we're in.
That's right. It's all velvet.
Yeah.
There's a sex swing right there.
I was gonna say it looks like Austin Powers.
Yeah, baby.
Nice.
Yeah, so I just put out a message, and the first day I got like 27 people show up at the house for a $20 tournament. So we had 2 tables in the basement, 1 upstairs, and so I make the final table the first time, and I think we're on the money. We just cashed. It's 5 people paid, and one of my friends is like, "Hey, this guy is cheating," and we're like, "Huh?" He's like, "Whenever he's dealing, he's taking the deck and like peeling back the flop." And like he's just like playing, yeah. So we end up like catching him, confronting him. He just starts bawling his eyes out. Like it was bad.
Well, drama in your very first poker tournament.
You wonder why I'm so involved in so much shit. This is how I started my career. First ever tournament I ran, catch a guy cheating. Like
at your house, so people had to think you guys were colluding, maybe.
No, everyone. He was from the school over. I'd never met the kid, and yeah. I think I ran into him like 10 years ago, and he like kind of she was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry I did that to you back then." I'm like, "It's okay. Things worked out for me."
So wow, like you were like 16 and you're playing $20 sit and goes.
Yeah.
So things were going really good for you right away.
I mean, I ran for like 4 months, and they're all like 30 people ish, and I think I won like 7 and cashed like 5, and I just went all in every hand. I just thought, and we had no annies, there was no reason. And like, I remember one hand, I'll never forget this hand. I like shoved cutoff with like 15 big blinds. And a guy in the button looks down at King Queen suited and starts thinking about how to play against me. Shows it to both his neighbors who are friends. They talk about the book they read, and they decide as a team to collectively call. Like, we didn't know that.
Community reads.
Yeah,
so like community reads are.
Like they literally looked at their hands like none of these things you even think about. Like, oh, I folded king, probably should call. Oh, I had ace deuce off. Yeah, call king queen suited. Like, crazy. I was upset, and then we learned the rules more as we went on. And then a few of those guys from those games I still run into. One still plays cards at the local casino.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, and like my brothers played, my dad, my grandmother would come play, some uncles. Like, poker and gambling was always a family activity for me. My grandmother taught me card games at a young age. She's the oldest woman ever played the World Series main event.
I did read that as well. Yeah.
You probably didn't know that story.
96. I also heard she tried to rebuy after she busted.
So this is This would have been the most viral clip in poker if they ever caught this on camera. So my grandma's 92 years old. For a Christmas gift, I brought her into the main event. I like flew out all like my aunts, my siblings, my dad, everyone. So we had like 12 people in Vegas to sweat her. World Series was alerted she was coming. They had her do shuffle up and deal. Nolan Dalla, fucking greatest media person ever, fed her this line that was like, you know, she's doing the shuffle deal and she's like, and you're all playing for second. But she, yes. So imagine this 92-year-old lady saying that, like, and being my grand, it was awesome. I had her fucking patched up with Poker Tracker. I sold 1% to all the top online guys. So, like, I think I was in for like 5 or 6K for 50%. A bunch of people had 1%, and she was sponsored for 2K. So I'm always trolling, and so I even troll my own grandmother. And so I go to my cage, my box or whatever at the series. I give her a 10K brick and said, "This is for your rebuy." So she plays day one of the main event like a cash game with the 10K brick behind her chips. And she ends up going broke, and the guy who has like a set versus is like telling her to fold, and she's like, "I can't fold this in," and calls with like top pair. So she gets felted, and then she takes the 10K and wings it to the dealer and says rebuy, and it lands in the dealer tray. The dealer pushes back, says, "Ma'am, this is a freeze out." She's like, "No, I don't want to go yet. I want to rebuy." And throws it back, and then she's like, "God damn it, Shaun!" Like, so
You fucking trolled your grandma.
equal opportunity troller.
She folds 100% if you don't. If you don't tell her that.
Yeah, the whole goal was just for her to make day two.
Yeah.
You know, she played it 2 years, and after the first year, I was back home in New York. I was living in Vegas at the time, and we were driving from something. I was driving around, and she goes, "That was the greatest day of my life." And, you know, that was awesome to me. That was great for my family. And when she passed a few years ago, you know, they always do like the video memoriam, and 2/3 of the video was just clips from the World Series. Like, I had reached out to Mori. He sent some footage that never been aired. Like, they were great to her, great to our family. And yeah, we even went back home and had all the local news stations do an article on it. Like, they were all interviewed her. We're sitting there playing at the table, and like, it was a great experience.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
That's a great story. And we love Maury. We had him on not that long ago.
One of our hidden gems that,
it's true.
that people should know.
People don't know how good Mori is.
Mori is amazing.
I met him a long time ago, and we just started talking about crazy things about poker and gambling, and me and him played one of the most absurd cash game hands I've ever played, where he like called my 3-bet, and I think we went 17 bets dark on the flop. And he owned me. I had king queen off, and he had tens, and somehow, he just had all the money. I couldn't believe he flat a good hand, and I realized I was like, oh, this is really smart. Like, call the aces and then go all these bets post. I was like, I'm gonna do that to someone. But yeah, Maury's a sharp guy, great storyteller. He's key reason, obviously, poker is what it is, and he works super hard as a great team, and we're lucky to have him.
Yeah, for sure. Like one of the first guys doing whole cam cards and like getting producer credits in old bad poker movies.
That's true. So, like all poker movies.
Yeah.
There's not a good one. If you say Rounders, I'm fucking walking off set.
Look, I love Rounders, but
how do you love Rounders?
I'm not going to claim it's a good movie though. There's a big difference. Like,
were you a poker pro when you saw Rounders, or were you?
I was in college.
Okay. As a poker pro, watching Rounders for the first time, it is so bad.
Yeah,
I could see not knowing poker, but I hate that movie.
I think whatever. That's fine. Like I like a lot of bad movies, so like to say like it's a good movie might be a stretch, but it brought joy to my heart, and that it didn't upset me. I don't know. You ever watch The Sting? It's not about poker.
I like The Sting.
Yeah, it's not about poker.
No,
to me, that's my favorite one that has like
The Sting.
poker
My
involved.
dad had me watch that at a young age.
That's
and when
my
they do
favorite poker
the
movie.
whole scam with in the pocket, like putting down pants. It's a great one.
Yeah, exactly. All right. As long as we can like settle on The Sting. That's fine.
That's a good movie.
Well, give us a little bit of your beef with Rounders real quick, because I watched it, and when I was like coming up in poker, I hadn't actually watched Rounders before I started playing online, but then I went back and watched it, and I was like, the guy would never make it 1,000 with kings or whatever happened, and then
The hand histories are dumb, but
I just think every representation of gambling and like it's just so over the top, so bullshit, and like. I think that there's so many family successful poker players, and like I hate that image. I hate the degenerate side, and I think that it's just not realistic. Like everything, there's just nothing that's true, and nothing that even is stretched truth. It's just so exaggerated, so bullshit, and I just think that the premise, everything about it, there's just nothing that's good, and I hate anything that shows cheating and like, oh, this is the accepted way to do it. It's like, no.
That's fair. They did normalize and
Yeah.
kind of make the hero the character who is the cheater for sure.
Yeah, I like.
That part was horrible, obviously.
I hate cheaters so much, and I hate the image of cheating being acceptable. So,
I mean, Hollywood's got to like glorify the fun parts about gambling. So there's big wins, like or like the scandal behind it or something like that. They don't really have the in betweens. Honestly, not that fun to watch.
no, I agree. Like, I think if people saw my normal life, some things go crazy, but in general, every day it's like, yep, just sit at home, do nothing. Like, really fucking easy life.
Yeah, that's fair. So, all right, let's go back in time a little bit.
Before your grandma.
So
That was World War I.
you crushed from 16 to 18, let's say, just running home games yourself.
Yeah, then the day I turned 18, I was actually in Florida with my grandma. I graduated high school early. On my birthday, we go to the Isle Casino. I played 2-2 double flop, hold'em. Fall in love with the game, and this black guy missing most of his teeth, who said cappuccino every opportunity he got and capped it. And just played that game, and I think there was some like sit and goes at Hard Rock, and I played with some NFL guys. Like I was playing 1K sit and goes randomly with like a 10K roll, just the shit you do back then. So then I deposited online and kind of did well, and then I had a crazy thing, so I used ePassport for my transfers, and I couldn't deposit on PokerStars. So I was on 2+2, I was playing on Party most of the time, and I literally find some guy to play Monopoly. We play Monopoly for $10 a game. I beat him 3 games. He only has PokerStars. He sends me $30. That week I run the $30 up to $30,000.
Come on.
Wait, that week?
That week.
Ow.
I won the 10 rebuy back-to-back nights for like 15 and 10K.
I feel like everyone, like, I don't know, we've had a few people on with that story. Like, I had that story. Like, I won it back-to-back as well. But like,
yeah. Well, I mean, like the
Dylan,
first time I won
it.
it, I literally, my account was all in. Like, I couldn't register more tournaments, and like it was one of my last tables.
Couldn't add on.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was already post-rebuy period, thankfully. But yeah, I mean, everyone back then, we were stone cold degens. Like, you just didn't know any better. Click register, and yeah, so I like ran that 30K, got to like 100K like 2 weeks later, won the PokerStars tournament leaderboard, like, and then I had met some like tournament guys at Turning Stone, a bunch of the 2+2 community, came close with all those guys, just never really looked back from there.
I think we got the thumbnail. Monopoly money to...
Never made a deposit on PokerStars.
I literally, yeah.
You ran hot at Monopoly, or are you just skill-based in Monopoly?
I was skill-based.
Skill-based,
There was no
sorry.
auctions, so.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break from the interview to tell you about a very special promotion that Table 1 is doing.
That's right. If you want to win 5% of me and Justin in the WSOP main event,
That could be up to like, I don't know, $800,000 if we get first and second, which we probably will.
there are a lot of ways to enter into the giveaway. We call it the swag and tag giveaway because you put on some Table 1 swag, you take a selfie, tag us, Twitter or Instagram at Table 1 Vegas, and that's it. That enters you into the contest.
Super simple, guys. It literally takes probably, I don't know, like even a boomer like me can probably get it done in like a minute and a half or something like that. So all you have to do is A, get some swag, get it online. You can go to the newsletter, or if you see Art and I out in a poker room somewhere, we have a bunch of patches just in our bag, just ready to give you. So if you see us, come talk to us.
That's right. You don't have to buy anything. You can just find us and impress us with a joke. No, you just have to
Just say you like me. That's all I need.
That's really the only reason we do this podcast, so people will tell us they like us. So keep doing that. And back to the pod.
So, and then because it's another funny thing, so because of that, like a year later, Mike DiMichele made the final table of USPC, and they were trying to like shoot some shots in between, and they talked about doing a real life Monopoly game. So I think it was either JC Musa or John Aguiar reached out to me and asked if I wanted to be a part of it, because they like saw me like the post about Monopoly. I was like, yeah, I love real life Monopoly. So the first time I was ever on TV for poker, I'm sitting in a hotel room with those guys, and we're just playing Monopoly with cash instead of like the play money.
Oh, cool. Wow.
Yeah.
That's fun. So like dollar for dollar. So like
yes, we had like
that's
we
sick.
had like $10,000 in small bills playing Monopoly. Yeah, I've kept trying to find that clip. I hope someone can find it on the internet.
Art might could.
Put it in the comments, guys, if you can find it. I know you're looking out there, internet sleuths.
Yeah, it was the U.S. Poker Championship at Borgata. I think like Devin Miller was there, Jordan Morgan.
Yeah.
Alex Jacob, bunch of crushers, like, because apparently there was some high, like, one of the invite-only poker tours was trying to start at that point, so none of the big names at the time went, so it was all the online kids ended up crushing this tournament. But yeah, that was early start, and so much shit has gone on in 20 years, man. It's more than half my life I've been a poker pro.
Yeah, but it's been the best half of your life, or I don't know.
Have you met my wife yet? No, I'm just kidding. Ashley's awesome. No, I thank poker so much. I just did a Poker Org article last month, and like a note to your younger self. And I said this thing, which I knew will surprise a lot of people, but I basically said like the biggest mistake I made in life was leaving college for poker. I know how much of an outlier I was to end up where I was. How many friends of mine or people who are better than me went broke or just didn't have success. Like, I run farther above expectation than probably anyone in poker throughout my career to end up where I am. So I definitely fucked up by leaving school, but somehow poker gave me my wife, my kids, my friend circle, my social, so many things I've met through poker in the last 20 years, and it's been awesome. And I love this industry, and that's why I fight so hard, against cheaters, against scammers, and try and help the industry, because I want it to be healthy enough for people to come up like I did. I want it to be healthy enough that, there's a future for people who want to be pros, and the amateurs just want to have a good time, and I just don't want all the scumbags to get all the money.
That's great. And I'm just going to go back just a little bit, because I think you glossed over, or it might be your main point, but coming up, I remember the old timers always saying I would never tell anyone I cared about to become a professional poker player. When I was 22, 23, 24, I was like, why? This is glorious. This is amazing. But you get a little perspective or whatever, and you're looking back, and I'm not saying I regret my decisions or anything like that, but 98% of the people are just going to fail, and not just fail, but they're going to fail to the point where maybe they go broke, they're in massive debt, bad reputation, no resume, no college degree, whatever. Yeah. And it's not for everybody.
I tell
play for fun, guys.
Literally play for entertainment.
Yeah.
Play with discretionary funds, and if somehow you start making enough to say I can make a living, do it for another 6 months, and make sure you have so much money on the side, because it's so hard when you're losing to recognize why you're losing and to be objective and to not realize what's going on. And there's so many ways and leaks in life, whether it's gambling, food, travel, degeneracy, whatever. It's hard to fade all the rake that's out there.
Yeah, and poker is the perfect, I know we kind of live in a side hustle culture right now, where Twitter is all about these are my side hustles, I'm making this much money. Poker is kind of the perfect side hustle, where you do your main thing, your stable thing, whatever it is, whatever the case may be, and then if you're playing poker on the weekends, 4 to 15 hours a week of poker time, and all of a sudden, if it starts overtaking your main thing, then okay, you start to think about it. But I mean, we were all 18-year-old kids with a dream, except for Justin, he's old as fuck. But but we were young, and we had college, and we had free internet money to try to make it big.
And I tell a lot of people come up now, it's the people we're playing against online there weren't no solvers, there weren't no pros, there weren't literally, the guys you saw on TV were some of the worst players online. Right.
You're looking for them at the table.
So it was a different time. You could play way more volume, way more tables. The fields were massive. The edges were great. There's never going to be a poker boom like that again. And you got to recognize that you have to be so good, because no matter what stakes you're playing you're playing against some of the best in the world. You can play 10 cent, 25 cent online, and you have this kid from Bulgaria who's just an absolute killer, who's just making enough money to make a living, or, unfortunately some of the bots and different things. There's so much difficulty to make a living at poker. I think, and it's crazy now from us, I assume you're an online guy based on conversation, but the best way to make a living is now live poker.
Yeah, it really is.
It's crazy that the 1-3 games, the rakes have come down. They're beatable, and people are bad enough. And I used to always tell people to grind online and make a bankroll. Now it's grind live and practice online and play small online to get better. Yep. It's online has become the training seminar for live poker.
Yeah, one of the people in my hometown built like one of the first poker bots, and he was like super proud of it. He's like, look, this bot can it knows push fold or something like that. And I was like, okay, cool. I mean, I don't know if that's ever going to be useful, but now you're running into actual bots online that are crushing, like you said,
the bots online right now are not crushing. That's one of the misnomers about that.
Okay.
I've talked to some of the site owners and security and different things. The bots are very, very small winners. Most of the money they win is by rakeback. So it's not nearly as big of a deal as people think it is. Some of the stories that come out, some of the numbers have been very exaggerated. So it's definitely a concern because obviously they're going to win more from bad players.
Yeah.
And like most of the bots, if you figure out they're a bot, are very exploitable by a better player because like the true GTO bots are not really there yet.
Okay. I didn't know that. But also, like, if you can scale that infinite, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah,
you
like
win small.
They're risking very little and making $10 an hour, but that's imagine you can just have 100 of them going.
Exactly.
Like that's the whole point. Is like they can pull some money out of the ecosystem. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but they're not as good as like the public thinks they are.
Okay,
I mean, I'm not even that good of an online player, but if I know I'm against a bot, I'm going to find a way to exploit them. Like his frequency's off here, and like you're going to find some leaks and be able to just crush them because they're never going to adjust. And as soon as you find a leak, you just get to print off them.
Because they can't adjust. They're programmed to do it a certain way.
These are not like they're not solvers the way people use solvers with good ranges and frequencies and lots of bet sizes. Like these guys are rudimentary bots, most of them, and they're just like pure aggression, pure this, and it's like if you know that, okay, sweet. I'm just gonna keep min raising you. I'm gonna keep calling you. Like it's easier to play.
Interesting. Yeah, it reminds me of when Doug Polk and those guys played the AI bot for the first time, heads up, and he was like, I think Doug Polk was the only one just like min leading into it or something, like some kind of weird exploit that like shouldn't work, but because it was the first iteration, it was working, like something like that. And most people obviously don't have an entire institution behind them to adjust the bots that they're running for $10 an hour.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that poker has such bad reputations in some spots where it's out there and it should be talked about, but it shouldn't be talked about in a way that scares everyone off and be like, you can't do this because XYZ. It's like everything in poker is beatable. We've all played in some of the toughest games where everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe you're playing that game. And it's actually one of the most profitable games. Like I think it was one of the old school mixed game guys told me once, he's like, do you ever see the 5 best players in the world playing a cash game together? Hop in that game because one of them is on massive tilt playing so bad. Like it's true. Like these guys are sharp.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
You kind of know that if everyone is really aware and they're all grinding in what looks like a super tough game, probably someone's playing their F game.
So speaking about you being terrible online, so you've won a bunch of scoops and W coops and stuff like that. Like you were like player of the year, like online player of the year and stuff like that.
Yeah, who was playing for you?
So your bot worked okay, or?
So there's a funny story in reference to that. I was playing tournaments when I was like 20 years old, and I think it was Intervention, Adi Arguali, and like Kay Cannon, who's a DFS legend now, and they're having a conversation at the table about me, and like, oh, do you hear something about Shaun Deeb? And they're like, they don't know it's me. No one knows what I look like really, and he goes, well, I hear he's a real person. He's not a bot. Like, because when I first played online, I was the first person to play 50 tables.
50?
Yes.
Jesus.
So, so I was like massive multi-tabler from early on. Like, when I was 18, I was playing party poker for the Bad Beat Jackpot. I was 20 tabling like the 1-2 no limit, or the limit hold, whatever it was. For
1-2 limit, probably.
I think it was the 1-2 limit where like you were purposely playing for the Bad Beat Jackpot. And then I got into tournaments and I just played a ton of tables. And I remember I met some Stars employees like 10 years later, and they're like, yeah, we had like data that showed like distribution of tables, and they're like, 70% were 1 table, 25% were 2, like 4% 4, and a couple at 8. And there was this one little dot over here at 40, and we go, that's Shaun Deeb. Like, I started the trend of massive multi-tabling. I grinded super low, and all the best players I met at the time of tournaments like would 4-table. They'd play the 100 rebuy, the 162, like 100 freeze out, and
215.
And you're sitting there playing a million tables of $5 and $10 tournaments.
I was playing the 2180s were my fucking bread and butter. Those were
180 mans.
Yeah, the 180 mans. And I give so much credit to them because I got so many shorthanded experience, heads up. Like I was in so many situations that when I got to the bigger tournaments later on, the big field stuff, I'd been in that spot so many times, and I learned all the poker through trial and error. So like I played millions of hands of final table bubbles in my first few years, and no one had played like 10,000 hands at that point.
That's great. Yeah, you have the low stakes experience, and then it becomes a high stakes like leverage point for you.
Yeah.
I used to be good friends with Havad Khan. Do you know him?
Oh, he went to UAlbany.
Yeah.
So you probably didn't know he went to college at SUNY Albany.
I knew he's from New York, Poughkeepsie,
Yeah. So,
but I was just gonna say that he had that experience where PokerStars like messaged him like, hey, we need a video of you actually playing 40 tables or whatever, 25 tables, whatever you're doing, because I think 24 is the max at some point.
No, it was 24 was for cash, for tournaments you could add more.
So yeah, and he had to like send them a video of him like playing a lot of tables. He's like, listen, I used to play StarCraft, so I can do this. but no, yeah, that's cool. So you knew him from
he got no like attention from that stuff, and we had like talked through 2+2, and he was going to school in my hometown, so I don't even know if we ever even met in Albany, but we had met in Vegas at some point. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I love Havad, although I haven't seen him in years. I did reach out to him. I tried to get him on the pod, but he was not interested. He's over it. He's beyond poker.
Well, he tried so hard to be entertaining. Like his whole World Series run, he's like, I'm gonna be scream and
bulldozer.
But I mean, he got him attention for that year. I mean, like,
he did get a contract.
Yay.
I mean, he did get a Stars contract, and then I think a couple years later or whatever, whenever it was getting close to expiring, he was like, I just don't want to do like, I don't want to show up to these tournaments that you want me to show up to. I know you're going to pay for them. I don't want to play this tournament.
Yeah.
Anyway, just a quick break here, guys. Are you tired of playing with players like this? Not this.
No.
This? Or this?
Or do you want to play with players like this?
Oh wait, if you like having fun at the poker table, Table 1 is the game for you. We play high stakes, no limit, 100 blinds. And if you want to get into the game, it's actually super easy. We have a website, table1.vegas. You just go to the website, you click get a seat in the game, and fill out the form. It's that easy. It's your name, it's your phone number, it's the date that you're here, and I will personally reach out to you.
And it's only $5K minimum buy-in. Run it up at 2.5 and join us.
But no, poker's had so many crazy iterations. Like we went through the old school phase, and then like everyone tried to do everything retention. And I feel like 10 years ago, everyone just tried to be robotic. And a few years ago, I was telling my wife, like I was really considering really rolling into like the poker villain role and just like be the asshole at the table always.
But you didn't go with that?
I really.
How's it going for you?
I swear this is my like. People say if someone saw my Twitter, I said, do you know how many tweets I've had like my wife had told me I can't send?
If you could see his draft.
Yeah.
I don't do drafts. I just come off the top of my head. I am very quick-witted, and I think of usually the most vulgar, offensive thing possible initially. And my wife has basically threatened to divorce me multiple times for many of my tweets. So this is...
Why even run it by her then?
I was happy for 2 years when she deleted Twitter. She downloaded it again 6 months ago, so I'm back on my good behavior.
Oh, got it.
But yeah, no, I really thought that poker was lacking a actually good asshole at the table. All the assholes in poker were fucking fish.
Well, give me some examples. Wait.
Mattisau, Randall Emmett,
Doug Polk. Oh no, he's good, right?
Yeah, Polk is good.
I think, you're trying to call him out to get him on your pod, I'm sure.
I would, no, come on. He wouldn't come on.
No, he wouldn't.
He wouldn't dare. No, just he took over that asshole role on Twitter. He would call everybody out
like to an extent, like Berkey kind of has a little bit, I mean, obviously the asshole is a little strong or whatever, but like someone's like opinionated, I suppose.
I was gonna go more like offensive than just being opinion. Like I wanted to be like the guy who basically was like the Mattisau, the way he was, the being the bad boy. I was actually telling a story yesterday at the World Series where I was like, I've been in like 7 fights at the table so far. And so Glance is going to be really happy to tell the story. So yesterday in the $300 Gladiator, it's 600,
I like the start already.
600, 1,200 blinds. Guy under the gun opens 3,600. He's seat 9. I'm like seat 4. I go all in for 4K. I had just lost a big pot. First bullet, I'm like, all right, I'll be out soon. One of his really good friends is in the big blind. And they had like said how crazy when he moved to his table. We're at the same table. There's all these players. So I know they're very good friends. I don't know if they're related, whatever, but like they're definitely close friends. And the guy in the big blind calls, and the opener calls. And then the guy in the big blind checks dark. And the guy's like, oh, I checked dark. And I'm like, come on, guys. You guys got to play your hand. Like, what? And I'm like, call the floor. So I like, get the floor over here. This is like, 1/8 of starting stack in a $300 tournament.
This is their dream, by the way, to play a WSOP event. It's a $300 shit show. And you're just like, sorry, guys.
You're like, guys, no colluding on my. You're not stealing $10 of equity from me.
It was lower than $10 in equity. But I am a stickler for the rules, and I wanted everyone to learn their lesson. So the floor comes over, and they're like, they're checking it down dark without even looking at the hand. They're not trying to play the hand properly. And the floor's like, well, did they say anything? I said, no. And then while we're discussing with the floor, the one guy says, isn't the point of a tournament to try to bust people and check it down? I'm like, okay, he just said that. And I'm telling the floor, I'm like, it's one of the newer floors. And I'm like, you got to step up and do your job and like give this guy a penalty because you can't openly admit to colluding. Yeah. Like that, teach them a fucking lesson. And I'm like,
sorry, go ahead. I like this.
So anyway, floor comes over, they get mad at me for like doing this.
Sure.
And I like glances like, why are you getting fights with people in $3 tournament? I'm like, it's the rules. And like these people need to learn from me what proper etiquette is. If they go play elsewhere, go play bigger, like or deeper in the tournament, you gotta know that this stuff is not okay. Yeah. Like I don't care how much dollar equity this spot is. I want to teach it as a learning experience for these 10 players at my table to learn that this is not how you play tournaments. And also you're hurting your own equity by doing this at this stage of the tournament. So I get in a fight with them for like 20 minutes. I then run my stack up, and now I cover them both. And my whole goal is to bust these two. I was trying the hardest I will ever try in my life in a $300 tournament. And I knocked out one of them. And nice. I was so mad when our table broke and I didn't get the other one. Like
you tripped him in the hallway. His chips fell out of his bag.
I was just gonna tweet mission accomplished and leave no context whatsoever. Because like Glance put out a tweet about it, and there was just like, and I get a lot of shit from my friends for some of the fights I get into, but
what's right is right.
Listen, man. Someone's got to teach people how to be involved in the poker community, how to follow the rules, and unfortunately, I'm like the rule Nazi sometimes. Yeah. Most of the time.
So how much did you bag in the?
Yeah, you got day 2 tomorrow.
I do have day 2 tomorrow. I had $600K before we got in the money, and I bagged $340K. So it went very poorly after that fact.
Another douchebag showed up at your table. You tried to teach him a lesson.
Yeah, this young Asian kid did some solver stuff. I tried to float him 30 blinds effective out of position with 4 or 5 suited. Didn't work out well.
That sounds like something I would do. That's bad. That's got to be really bad.
He 2.5x'd me, cut off the button. I'm not folding.
Yeah, he's just being rude.
Yeah, at this point, he is rude. Yeah, it's his fault, not yours.
Yeah, I was gonna get him, but he got me.
So at what point did you really get heavy into live poker?
So I always play a little bit live. I mean, first few years of my career, I was down millions of dollars in live tournaments.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
First few years?
Did not know that.
Yeah, first 5 years, I was down like 1.5 to 2 million in live tournaments. This was before they had high rollers. This was 18 years ago.
It's really hard to lose 1.5. Like, you have to be trying almost.
He was
actively
funding the future high rollers.
I funded a lot of shit in live poker. No, and the crazy thing in all those years, I never had a losing month while I was just down infinite live. Like, I won so much online in those days. So like
So your tuition.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And like the first thing that got me on the map for live was the big satellite. That I chopped effectively.
The big satellite, by the way, is the $25K that gets you into the $1 million buy-in for
that was the first one drop.
That's right.
First $1 million one drop.
It was 2013. And so the crazy thing is, the night before I was playing a 300-600 mixed game, cash game, because I played mostly cash back then. I like transitioned away from online tournaments. So I'm playing with these guys, and we're talking about the $1 million tournaments, the talk of the town, capped, and all these people, and there's a satellite. And so I'm crushing this game. I'm winning every pot. I stack, I think I stacked like Hassan Habib first. And he's like, I have a really good feeling about you in that satellite. I'm like, I don't want to sell. I just want to play it, He's like, do this. And this is like pre-markup police, but I still cared about that stuff. I was like, it's a turbo. You shouldn't buy. I don't want to sell. I'll sell at 1.25, but you should not buy. It's losing money. Like literally telling him not to buy. He pulls out like $600-700 out of his pocket, hands to me, and he's like, I'll take 4%.
Oh, so it was a live mix game you were playing.
A live mix game, yeah. Sorry. We're playing at Aria. So I do that again. He buys another 4%. 2 other people I felt in the game, they end up pulling out $600 and buying 4%. So now playing 300-600, I was up 125,000 in a limit game.
Jeez.
So not only did you stack all of them, they also came out of pocket to give you
Yes.
a negative EV buy.
I didn't take enough of my money. Here's more.
Yes.
You're like, don't do it.
I literally, I am fine with telling people it is a minus EV buy. If they want to fucking do a lottery pick, I'm okay with that. As markup police, and I was completely upfront. So now I've been playing for 30 hours. The tournament already started, the satellite. So I'm like playing heads up, I think, with Thomas Keller. And I'm like, I have to go play a satellite. I go max late reg it, like the last possible moment.
You're like, guys, you paid me all this markup. I'm going to buy in at the last second. I'm telling you.
No, I wasn't. I was planning on showing up on time. I was planning on going to sleep. But the cash game was so good. When you're winning that many bets, everyone's tilted and playing awful. And I was just scooping every hand. Like, I don't know if you ever played much limit, but 200 bets in a mixed game, limit mixed game, with a lot of split pot games, there's a lot of Badusi,
It's
is
impossible.
extremely difficult.
Okay.
They had to be.
You must have been cheating. Sorry.
It's like you said before. If all the players are good, it doesn't matter if one guy's up 200 bets. Like, the game is good.
Yeah. So I go max late reg, get to the final table, have a ton of chips. I know how to play satellites well. One of my mistakes in my career, though, I really messed up this situation. We were 6-handed, and it was myself, Gus Hansen, I think Elke, Will the Thrill.
Will the Thrill played it?
Yeah, Will the Thrill was a satellite specialist back
Probably
then.
satellite into the satellite.
I think
Yeah,
Jay Carver, and I forget who the sixth was. Jay Carver's Jason Somerville, for those who don't know. I know you know, but your audience doesn't always know.
Our audience is very intelligent.
They're listening to you.
There's not that many of them either.
This is actually just for me and Art. We just go back and watch it ourselves. This is a closed circuit.
So anyway, so me and Gus have like 80% of the chips in play, and the payouts are seat to the tournament, which is worth $888K because of rake, $1 million in cash second, third place is $400K. So this is a massive bubble. Like, this is the biggest bubble anyone's played in poker at this moment. And I actually allowed the other 3 players, they asked if they want to discuss chop. Me and Gus said, we have too many chips. We're still like get first or second. I was like, if we get closer. And they asked if they could agree to a chop themselves.
Like a save between them.
Yeah.
Save it.
And me and Gus said okay to that, but I didn't realize at the time how much that fucks over my own equity in that tournament.
Interesting. How does it fuck you?
Because they can call off wider than
Yeah,
they could.
they
because
can
they're
play
guaranteed-
proper.
Team
Yes.
or whatever.
Because like if they lose,
There's no
it's
ICM
okay.
for that.
Yeah, like they're already guaranteed 100K-ish.
Right.
So like they have flatter pay jumps.
Try to boost one of their people up.
Well,
it's not even that
yeah,
much. But
they can call off in spots they wouldn't normally because it would be 0 to 400 bubble. But now they have like 100, and one of them won the seat, they were getting 300. It's like they had like organized this very complicated deal. If one of the 2 of them got a seat, they would split up the money too. So like they already were guaranteed like 200K, and they're just playing. They could play it like more like a regular tournament.
Okay, so all your pressure goes away.
Yeah, so it was a big mistake. But anyways, they all go out, and me and Gus get heads up, and it's now 3 a.m. I've been up for 52 hours. The tournament starts at noon the next day. Okay, it's hard start. So I'm like, when I'm up for 2.5 days straight, or 2 days, whatever it was, I like sleep for like 12 hours. And now I have 75% of myself in this sat, because I like had someone at like 10%. I sold 16% in the game. And I'm like, I'm gonna have 75%, which is a huge percentage of my net worth of $1 million tournament if I win the seat. And I was like, I don't know if I can sell in time for this tournament. It's the next day. So I'm like, I talked to Gus and he's like, I already sold all my action for this. I was planning on playing. I didn't wire correctly. So I wanted to play. So I was like, okay, I'll take second. So I raise all but 1 chip. He goes all in. I fold, and then he wins the next hand. So I end up getting second, but I was the alternate for the tournament. So I'd like put out a tweet like, hey, if I end up getting in this tournament, someone backs out, like I have to play, I want to sell action. And I woke up the next day, like 6 hours later, maybe 4, I didn't sleep much that night. I mean, I had my biggest winning cash session and my biggest tournament score back to back while awake the whole time.
like 900K in like fucking 2 days.
Yeah, it
That's
was
sick.
insane.
All right.
And so I wake up and I think I sold like 1.2 million worth. Like I like oversold what I want. I was like, wow, people think I'm good. I mean, and looking at that field, I've talked to people play that like Dur always tells me I was the biggest fuck up I did by not trying to play. It was like it was the softest tournament I ever got to play because it was Guy and like 20 of his friends like he invited who barely played poker. Yeah. Like it was a mistake in my career. One of those things I look back on, but like I knew I was, a little more of a bankroll nit back then, and I also didn't know how I could sell that much that quickly. So it's one of those regrets. Who knows what life would have been.
So you didn't end up getting called alternate?
No, I ended up just collecting the money.
And you got, you said it, but I forgot. You got $1 million?
$1 million, yeah.
$1 million for you and, $750 for you.
You get $750K or whatever.
So yeah, so like I ended up, the cash game I won $120K and I actually lost $40K because I had to give those guys $160K from the tournament. And really great.
That money out of pocket was a good investment, as it turns out.
The cash game was really good that week. Those guys loved me. But then a few days later, my now wife comes out to Vegas and she had no idea I won the satellite, and we go on a couple dates and it was all she wrote. So like that whole week of my life is the most insane week of.
Well, you got engaged that week, or what
we started dating.
You had just met
her. I had met her 2 years earlier. Funny story. So I went down to the Chad Brown tournament in Jacksonville, made the final table, and there's this dealer. And this is on YouTube, so you can find all the clips of this.
Actually, I saw your tweet recently about this, but yeah, no, go ahead.
Oh, did I? I didn't even know I tweeted about this. I don't even know what I do anymore.
Perfect. Go ahead.
I tweet when I'm out of it way too often. And yeah, so I basically say, I'm talking to this girl who's dealing. You can tell she's a little nervous being on camera the first time. Like, yeah, you're one of those dealers who, everyone says you look like you're 22, but you're really 27. And she just like gets white in the face. I was like, nailed it. She's like, how do you know? I'm like, I read people for a living. I'm just being cocky. And like, young Sean Winter, he's 18. This is his home casino, his first ever big tournament. He's to my left. And so Ashley had said something to him. And I'm like, which Sean are you talking to? She's like, I'm like, Sean 1 or Sean 2? She's like, well, he's Sean 1. I'm like, I'm seat 1. She's like, I've known him long. I'm like, I don't care. So like, I'm just talking shit to her the whole time. And her boyfriend at the time was a big fan of mine, so convinced her to hang out with me.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, so the three of us and a bunch of her other friends went out. We got drunk, and we stayed in touch over a few years. And I was living in Mexico. She texted me, and I lost my phone got stolen on the beach, so I had like no contacts. And I just see the area code Jacksonville, and now Ashley had tried to set me up with one of her friends who used the word bro a lot. So I get a text from Jacksonville area code, and the girl says, you're pretty good at poker, bro, the year I won all the scoops. So I win a bunch of online tournaments, I get this text, so I save her in the phone as a different girl's name. So we text for months, and you
were falling in love with...
No, her friend, she was a mess at the bar. The first time I met them, she got kicked out in like 45 minutes. I was 21 years old, so she was talking about coming to Vegas for the first time, and I was not going to babysit her in Vegas. Yeah. She was like, I have a 4-hour layover, let's hang out. And I'm like, no. Then she's like, I'm staying for 3 days now. And literally when she gets to Vegas and texts me, I'm playing cash game at Aria. And she's like, oh, I'm at Bellagio, I'll come over to Aria. I leave my cash game, go to my room, and pretend I'm asleep and just ignore her texts and phone calls. I straight up ghosted her. I do the same thing the next day, and the third day is July 4th. And I'm playing a tournament at the World Series, and Ashley strolls by the rail. And I'm like, oh, you're here too? She's like, what do you mean? I said, I was talking to Svetlana. She goes, Svetlana's here. She's like, you've been talking to me for the last few months ago. Oh, she's like, I knew you were blowing me off, and the fact that you thought it was Svetlana makes sense, and you were clearly happy to see me. And then,
wow.
And this is, I'm so good at reading people at a poker table. I'm so bad at reading women. Another...
But didn't you play that ladies event?
Yeah, I had a great time at that one. So wait, no, I can tie that into the story.
Yeah.
So this is I mean, I'm sorry, this podcast is gonna go way too long. When I played the ladies event, I met this young Lebanese poker pro, Natasha Barbour at the time.
Yeah.
Right.
So I became friendly with her. Being Lebanese, like we were just chatting. She seemed like a nice girl. Fast forward like a year later, I'm going to Lebanon for New Year's Eve with my cousin. I had a girlfriend there. And Natasha reaches out on Facebook and says, hey, I'm going to be in Lebanon too with my family. Let's hang out. So I go hanging out, like partying with her and her friends. and start like, I don't know, trying to flirt with her sister. So nothing happens, come back home, and now 4th of July, while I'm talking to Ashley, Natasha and her sisters show up. I invite them to a party that I'm going to later that night in front of Ashley, and just don't even invite Ashley. So
Prince Charming over here.
Wow.
I at the time I didn't know Ashley was single. I had no idea she was interested in me. I had no idea. She was just a friend of mine. So like I thought I had a chance, so I was taking my shot at something I thought I had a chance with.
Right in front of.
Right? Yeah.
It sounds like it all worked out.
It worked.
They're not gonna make a movie
This story
over
gets
this.
so much better.
All right, keep going.
So I get knocked out of the tournament. Some guy like misclick calls or tries to raise, and I shove with like aces. He calls sixes. I like get too outed. I run out of the Rio. And I get in a taxi, go back to St. Aria, and Ashley texts me like, "Where are you going later?" I'm like, "I'm going to Frank Casella's house." She's like, "Can I come along?" I'm like, "Sure, whatever. I'm sure it's fine." He has 700 people there. So we walk into the party. This is a few days after the satellite. So like, I'm the talk of the town for this big satellite win. And we're talking to and Ashley's there for like 20 minutes. Ashley knows nobody in poker. And she's a friend of mine. I invited her to a party. I'm not trying to do anything. And I'm talking to Jack Effel and Jack's wife. And Ashley, being a poker dealer, wants to get hired at the World Series. So she introduced her to Jack. She's like, "Hi, Jack. I'm Ashley, and Shaun's an asshole who won't introduce us." And Jack puts his arm around me. He's like, "Not Shaun. We all love Shaun." So Jack starts wingman for me because everyone can tell that this girl's into me except for me. So, but for context, this is a few days. This is like the year after Black Friday, the few months after Black Friday.
Okay. Yeah.
So Ashley and I are both friends independently with Shaun Deeb, who's not related at all to me, but do you know who that is?
Which
Yeah,
Deeb is she related
Freddie's
to?
daughter. It's
Freddie's
Freddie's daughter.
Oh,
We just
you
had
mean
Freddie on.
Freddie Deeb, who
Yeah.
was on last week.
Yeah. Yeah. No, she's.
Why
awesome.
didn't you have me and Freddie on together?
Well, you
We
guys
only
weren't
have 3
available at the
chairs.
same time.
You think I could afford 4 lawn chairs? You've seen my house. I cannot afford 4 lawn chairs.
Was he gonna sit on your lap?
And I've only got these 2
He actually
microphones.
could.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I guess I had to be there for that.
No. It's just the way Freddie tells stories. He has to get your attention first.
No, I know. Look up.
Okay. Jesus. Where are we at on this story?
Yes, Janine's great. She's amazing. Yeah.
So obviously, like me and Janine, have always been very friendly. First time I met her, actually, I know I just go to a million stories. I went to dinner with Matt Savage, like because he was close with her. You and Janine got to go on a date. I'm like, it'll be so weird to date someone with an obscure last name like Deeb.
Yeah.
And we're not related at all, but not my type, and I'm definitely not her type. But no, we're good friends, and so Janine is Howard Lederer's goddaughter. So sorry for saying that out loud, but I think a lot of people know. And so she's at Howard Lederer's party, and it's Black Friday. I'm like, I want to see, because at the time I wasn't that close with them, and I didn't know, like full tell. I was like, I got to see who's at this party, because Frank and Howard always had the competing 4th of July parties. So we leave Frank's, we get in a taxi, we literally take drinks from Frank's party to there. Our taxi like drops off at the house, and I've never been to Howard's house. I have no idea. And the lights are all off on the house. And there's one person sleeping on the couch, and we weren't sure we were in the right house. So I'm literally have my phone out and my camera out, and I'm looking at the pictures on the wall to see who it is. And I see Howard and his kids. I'm like, all right, we're in the right house. So we see someone sleeping on the couch. We're like, that must be Janine. Like, the party's clearly over. No one came. And we go to like try to wake the person up on the couch. It's not Janine. It's just, it ended up being Janine's mom. We had no idea. And then, have you guys ever been to Howard's old house?
No, I have not.
Okay. So he has a ridiculous house, and like behind it is like a 5,000 square foot pool house, like levels below. So everyone was at the pool house in the back part. There was hundreds of people at the party, but we were in the main house, so we just had no idea. So we go to the party, say hi to everyone, find Janine, and one of the first people we run into is Gus Hansen. So we're talking the chop and everything, and now Ashley, my now wife, is sitting there with me in between me and Janine. We're all talking, and like I think Gus always kind of had a crush on Janine or something. I don't know. So we're all chatting, and Ashley's like elbowing. She's like, Gus, what's your last name? Like trying to like flirt with him. So we're like, okay, Ashley's into it. So me and Janine both pick up on that, And so we're going to a third party. It was like Vanessa Selps, Vanessa Russo, Maria Ho, when they were like filming a reality show at their house.
That. Yeah.
Were you at that party?
No.
You just remember that year? Okay.
I remember, them like the reality thing.
So we invite Gus to that party because we're trying to set up Gus with Ashley. Like, me and Janine are smart. Like, we're like, and so Ashley, Janine, and I are walking. Our taxi waited the whole time for this party. We were just going to pick her up. So he'd probably been there for like an hour, just running up the tab.
My God.
So we're walking out of the house, and Howard had this like spaced out step, like koi pond in his like front door walkway. Really nice. Ashley slips and falls into the koi pond, like gets her knee stuck in there. So she's wearing jeans. She's soaked up to like her thigh. And Janine is drunk. She goes, "That's fucking awesome." They've apparently had a prop bet for years. Who's the first person who's going to fall into the pond? And Ashley does it on the first time she's ever been there. And so everyone's like cracking up. She has to like, so it's got like corners. So she has to like scoot her body to the corner where she fell in, be able to pull the leg out because the insert parts are too narrow for her to get out. So she's like in tears, and me and Janine are making fun, like, "You're gonna fuck Gus Hansen," all this shit. She's like, "I'm not." She's like, "You guys think I was into Gus Hansen?" We're like, "Yeah, you were flirting." She's like, "I just thought it was fucking ridiculous. I'm drunk and I'm sitting there talking to Gus Hansen." Like, so we're like, "Oh," and like, she's like, "We invite him to the party for that," and she's like, "No." So we go to the third party. The first person she meets there is Daniel Negreanu. Like, me and him are on good terms at that point. So she meets Daniel as well. Then we walk outside, and there's a couple of my buddies. And my ex-girlfriend is there. And so my ex and me broke up like a year earlier. There was still some tension or whatever. And so I mentioned something to Ashley. She's like, "Why'd that girl act so weird?" She shook my hand. I was like, "That's my ex-girlfriend." She's like, "Oh, that makes sense." And now, we talked about how unaware I am. It's finally at this point in the night, me and Ashley have our feet in the pool, that I realize this girl's into me, and she tells me she's single. I'm like, oh, it clicks now. So
3 parties later.
yes, 3 parties in one night and a lot of drinks.
Yeah.
So as we're sitting in the pool, all of a sudden I like get kicked in my back, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? Then it happens again, and I look and I realize my ex-girlfriend is walking behind us, kicking me every time she goes by.
Oh my God.
Weird, but
Are you
okay.
guys 12? All right.
So anyway, I mentioned something to Ashley, and Ashley's like, "Oh, you want me to get rid of her?" I'm like, "Please don't fight her." It's like Ashley's. All right, I'll tell you a story off camera of Ashley's most recent fight. But
Most recent fight?
Yes.
I like to hear that. Okay. All right.
it's a great one. So anyway, so I'm like, there's cameras everywhere. They're filming this reality show. I was like, please do not fight some other girl. Like, I don't want, because I know that the show's gonna get picked up if there's a girl cat fight in poker. Like, this is what they need. So I'm like, no, she's like, I'm not gonna fight. I'm just gonna make her jealous. She like pulls me around the corner and makes out with me. And my ex lost her shit. It was bad. So she starts yelling. She ends up leaving the party. My ex leaves the party. And then Ashley, there was a big heart-to-heart was going on with Ashley, or with Daniel Negreanu, Vanessa Selps, and P.S. Hines about like sexuality in poker and image, and when people think you're gay and you're not gay, whole bunch of stuff. And Ashley, it's 4 a.m. Ashley's so drunk. She literally just sits next to Daniel and starts elbowing him like, Daniel. And she's like, what? She's like, I don't think you're gay. And he's like, okay. And me and Janine look at each other and we're like, we got to get her out of here. So we leave, and Ashley was supposed to fly out the next day. She stayed another day. She was on her way to a wedding, and we had another great date after that. And after that, I just started following her around the country, lived wherever she went.
Oh.
So yeah, that was
all right. Yeah, they got a lot cuter at the end. I like that.
Yeah, that was a great finish to a fun story. That was great.
I mean, it's so many things went. Every time we talk about that night and like just the whole week, there so many things had to go right for it to work out. And after our first few dates, I remember she had left Vegas, and I went to South Point bowling with some media people and Scott Seaver. And Scott had known me for many years, and a lot of the girls I dated, I never treated him well. And I literally told him, I was like, I'm gonna marry this girl, and he just started laughing at me. And I was like, I know I like this girl. I can tell she's a good person. And a year later, we got married.
That's great. And you guys have 2 kids now?
We have 2 boys. Evan is 10. Chance will be 8 in September. They are maybe smarter than me. It is scary how good they are at math. I think Evan just had one of the school tests, and they said that he's had the highest score they ever received in that school. So, yeah. So
you've taught them poker already, and
Don't do it. Don't ruin them.
I don't listen. I'm the fear of mine, and I'm so mad at COVID. I was sitting there playing 5-card PLO a bunch, cash games, and my fucking 5-year-old son started telling me what good hands were, and like, oh, you have the nuts, like. He can read 5-card PLO hands.
Come on, he could be Elon. Don't make him be Shaun Deeb when he could be Elon.
I don't want him to. I don't want him to be Elon either. Elon's fucked up, man.
Yeah, but rocket scientists and all that.
No, he's not a rocket scientist. He hires smart people.
Well, whatever.
Don't give Elon all his credit.
Past the scope of this podcast. Fancy metal trucks and all that.
Sorry, maybe your son can help play, get Art to play like 5-card.
No, come on. Let's not be
Sorry, we
crazy.
do double board bomb pots, like for 4 and 5 cards.
You should never do this.
Well, tell me why.
Yeah, I mean, but you have a lot of art types in there.
You should do them.
Yeah.
I shouldn't do them.
No, they're so bad for your game.
Well, we play cap though.
Yeah. Like,
Does that help?
It does help a little bit.
Okay.
But it's still, the fish just lose so bad. So
God, we
quick
do,
in that
don't
game.
we?
Huh?
I'm pointing at Art.
No, we do, yeah.
Art's so bad at PLO,
Yeah.
it's
I keep
ridiculous.
thinking like maybe I have something, but I'm always just drawing for one way when I should draw for 2 way.
You need to be either super strong both ways, or not in one way with a free roll.
But either way, so that's the only reason I'm breaking even in my game right now. So past that.
Thank you. All right, we won't play those anymore. Sorry, people calling
Tilted
them.
losing Justin is way better than break even Justin.
It's
Yeah,
true.
well, I don't know. Tilted losing Justin is usually away from the table at the bar, so. But he eventually comes back, which is good.
He should know there's alcohol at the table.
Well, yeah,
He's found out by now that he needs to walk.
my remedy for my tiltedness is to leave the table instead of sitting there all pissed off and steamed or ripping up cards or that
You
stuff.
never ripped up cards.
Multiple times.
Oh, he's a ripper.
It gets to the point where it makes me so happy, like I get off tilt like almost immediately as soon as I could do it, and it's like
Do you carry a deck in your bag so you can rip a different deck?
no, it's the cards I lose with, yeah.
He does it.
Are they charging you full price for them?
And then he
No,
leaves. And he doesn't even.
They find it adorable, yeah. They're just like, yeah, this is the setup. Setup's fine.
How much are you tipping these guys?
Well, yeah, what are they going to do? Kick me out, and then the rest of the game would break?
Yeah,
That
we'll
would be
just leave.
terrible.
Where are you going? Where are you going, Justin?
What's that? Like I attempted to rip up a hand maybe like 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and it took me like 8 tries, and it got to the point where I was just so fucking mad.
Do you realize you're getting older?
Regulations.
I was like, why won't these fucking things just rip? Like, am I so old I can't? My feeble hands.
All right, we've been jumping all around
Yeah,
a
sorry.
lot, which is cool. I'm enjoying it. But I've noticed you have a little man and a little wine glass on your shirt. And the people watching on YouTube, they might want to know what that's all about. Because you're not a wine or a man. Oh my God. Okay, I thought you were about to moon everyone.
Scroll down. There.
Scroll down. What does it say?
This is
Main event, final table 2023. Okay.
so who was the champion of the main event last year?
2023 for those watching in the future when we finally get popular.
Oh my God, he's your screensaver?
Yes.
Oh, I thought Wiseman was your screensaver.
Show the world
This man.
that man.
One of the
And
most likable
why
people
is he-
in poker.
Why is he both your shirt and your screen?
He's my best friend in poker. Well, one of my best friends, if not the best. Fellow member of Team Lucky.
Team Lucky.
Yep. And so I've met Dan 12 years ago at the World Series. We made a final table, the 10K pot limit hold'em, very legendary table. Ivy was on it, ADZ, rest in peace, and Sam Sign and a few other people. Frankenberger ended up winning it. And he's sitting to my right, and he's like 22, 23 years old. And they had the old World Series bios, which you probably never know because you've never played tournaments. You ever
What?
make one?
Final table?
The World Series?
Of course, I made one, exactly one. It was actually a 3K limit hold'em 6 max that I thought was a no limit hold'em when I signed up for it.
That's the tournament going on now. You could have.
Yeah, exactly.
You should really always play that. In honor.
I texted him yesterday. You got a little FOMO? Like, your specialty's coming up.
I did. Yeah, that's the only final table I've made. Yeah, but anyway, carry on.
Yeah, so they fill out the bios, and Dan's got like this like mullet and trucker hat, and he literally put in his bio he's a former lumberjack. And I just look at him, I go, I can't believe you ran that bluff. And then his next line to me is my favorite thing ever. It's, we're seats like 7, 8, Ivy's in 4, and he leans in, and he's like, who's that black guy? And I just fucking lost it. So I immediately knew like he had my sense of humor, and like we became friendly. And then Open Face got popular, and Dan created Fantasyland.
He created it.
Yes.
Yep.
Holy shit.
He's the one who created Fantasyland. I've been screaming that for 10 years, give him credit, and now it's not even his best accomplishment anymore. So last year he left Vegas. He had a new girlfriend he really wanted to spend time with. She was working in Atlanta, and I begged him to come back to Vegas to play the main. He ended up coming back and went on to win it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So you guys were buddies already before going into the main, but you didn't have a piece of him or anything?
I had a little swap.
Oh,
Yeah.
you had a
Little touch.
Little swap. So
You give him a little coaching too, or he doesn't? He's a good player
didn't need
anyway.
it. He's better than me at Hold'em. I relayed as many hands as he wanted. We went through stuff, but like he was so locked in and focused. And I think so many people. I've coached a lot of people at the final table, the main, more than anyone, and he was the most relaxed out of anyone I've coached. Financially, he's done well in different things. He didn't really care about the pay jumps. He just wanted to play good poker, and he knew there was some weaker players, and he was just going to play solid. And it was a clean steamroll.
Yeah.
How does it work when you coach someone at the final table? You just get a little percent?
So every time I've coached, it's been different. I've done free rolls, I've done flat rate, I've done buy at ICM. There's been times I've had pieces of people. There was one person I did it for free. And with Dan, I wasn't in charge of anything. I had, a decent. We do a large swap every tournament, so I had already enough equity. I would do it for free for a lot of people anyway. Like Justin, if you ever get there, I'm charging you.
It's funny you say that because we're actually doing a little giveaway, and it's this far along into the World Series now. We can't really string you guys along anymore, or you won't sign up. But we're doing a giveaway where Justin and I are giving away 5% of our WSOP main event to somebody out there. Could be you.
Or someone here.
All you have to do is wear one of these patches that say Table 1 Vegas, which we got right here. He's on the show already.
You can't take it off now.
It's locked in forever. Table 1 Vegas. You take a little selfie at the poker table. Tag us, Table 1 Vegas, on Instagram or Twitter. And you can win 5% of me and Justin in the main event. But Justin, tell them the only public math that we do.
It is 5% of 0 is unfortunately 0.
That's true. So if we don't cash, you may not win.
But
anything.
maybe we'll give you a sweat. Maybe we'll make a day 2 or a second break or
Wyman always
something.
claimed in the previous years that he never cashed the main, so it's if you building up the no cashes, it's really good because cash can be worth a lot.
I have min cashed twice
Oh,
out
you're
of 20
fucked.
years.
Yeah,
And
20 years though.
I finished 41st once, which was a real cock tease. But it was all right. It was the year McKeon won, and he's a real personable individual that I had a small piece of as well when he won. So shout out to you, Joe. I love you, and I hate you.
I have Joe in my phone as Spud because he looks like a potato.
Dude, since I swapped with him, I played with him in another tournament. He called me by another name, and then
He actually talked to you. We were good friends for a long time. He refuses to acknowledge my presence.
Okay, so we're
You're
I'm
my name.
slightly ahead of you or behind you, depending
You're
on how
definitely
you
ahead
ranks
of me.
people.
Yeah.
And then the next time I tried to talk to him, I was on the rail and he was playing Chinese on his phone, and he was one step away from calling the floor to get me removed. Like I was just like, "Hey Joe, how you doing?" And he was just like,
Speaking of people you should never have on your podcast.
"Yeah, well, agree."
You know what? I wouldn't mind asking him. I think it'd be funny to watch his reaction to a question like that.
If you guys touch him, he's just storming out of here.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can't touch an autistic guy; he'll fucking flip out.
I do find him funny for what it's worth. I think he's fucking hilarious.
Anyways, you out there could win a piece of nothing or something. We could come first and second. You don't know. We got Team Lucky on the podcast.
That's right.
Next podcast is going to be Team Lucky co-captain Josh Aria.
No, he's full captain. I'm the coach. We have official roles.
Wait.
Oh, I don't
is he
know.
the GM or?
So Josh is the captain.
Okay.
He is in charge of everything.
Oh, Jesus.
Glance is the mystery.
the
Mistress?
The
Oh,
mystery.
mystery.
The mistress. Glance does need a mistress if anyone's interested. He's not even married.
But he does need a mistress.
Yeah,
All right.
he's only one in Team Lucky without in a relationship. And Wyman is the champ. Sorry, your patches are
No,
too
it's
cheap.
okay.
So
They're too
the-
cheap. They're also, it wasn't, I was saving it. I didn't want to waste the sticky on you. You look kind of sticky yourself. I didn't need to put.
You could read up my poker game.
So you guys are rolling 4 wide. There's
There's
4.
just 4 of us. We're not there's a couple of people who have gotten in the audition process. So they're rocking the Friends of Team Lucky hat currently. There's a lot of demand to join Team Lucky. People, Glance is considered the least lucky of Team Lucky, and he pulled the first $1 million bounty.
That's true. So that solidified his place as mistress. Mystery, excuse me.
Mystery, not Mistress Glance.
So who's in the running? Like who could potentially be that 5th spot?
My personal pick would be João Vieira. I
Okay.
think we go European.
I like him.
Yeah, João's awesome guy. Nacho Barbera is being considered.
Yep.
He's definitely lucky. Ben Lamb,
Okay. All right. Yeah. He's lucky.
Eric Wasserson,
Also, yeah. Okay.
yeah, and Frank Casella.
Yeah. I feel like Frank should already be on the team.
And Turbo Win really wants to get in.
Oh, I love Turbo. Too.
I love Turbo too. The other guys don't know him as well as I do. Yeah. But like that's literally the people are like, you know how lucky we were outside of poker, we just needed and you know.
Maybe you just need a minor league team and you pull like.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, get a little minor league
Team
lucky
luck.
team. When you get the Y, you're on the team.
I mean, my vote would say just let all those guys in. That's a pretty good fucking roster.
There's something for exclusivity. I mean, there's only so much that can be said in a group chat, and I don't want it to get ruined and be watered down.
Sure.
And listen, I'm good friends with all those guys. I think they'd be great additions, but I think you have to prove some crazy thing, like what Josh has done in the last few years, what I've done in poker, Dan Wing the main, Matt still being alive. I mean, there's some amazing. Nah, I honestly, Matt, I appreciate our friendship so much, but I enjoy making fun of him more than anyone else in the world. I mean,
That's perfect. You need one of those guys on your team.
yeah,
that's true.
And he has given me shit about everything. Like he's got a great running bit right now about. Because I fuck up on so many things. Like some of the stories I tell you, I just mess up everything. He's like, when God created Shaun, 100% poker skills, 0% every other characteristic. He gave him nothing else. Like I book the wrong flight, I do this, I do everything wrong possible all the time. And that is his running joke, and it's so true. Like I am a one-trick pony. I am great at only one thing, and that is poker. Everything else in life, thank God my wife carries the slack on everything.
Speaking of, do you know who Coherent Deeb is on Twitter?
I actually played with him. He's actually, I think, chip leading the PL08. We played together in the 10K 08, and every time we're at the same table, I tell people who he is, and I think there was someone in the 08, I said, you're in a Shaun Deeb sandwich right now. So he's Coherent, him, and then me.
Well, don't tell the internet because I like the secret. But tell me after you.
He admits it.
Oh, you want people to know who he is? All right, well, tell the internet who he is then. Coherent.
I have to get his last name right. It's Jake Liebelind. I don't.
Either way, it's a great follow for those.
Yeah, Coherent Deeb translates all of Shaun Deeb's tweets.
He attempts to. He's gotten a few of them wrong over the years.
I would say.
Where do you live that I have SOS for my phone?
We're in the Aria. What do you mean?
We're in the Aria room. There's table 1 right there.
When Aria used to be around, they didn't have the cell phone tower, so that would have been believable. But you guys didn't know, weren't there enough.
We were not.
Oh, I'm trapped at my will. can't communicate. How am I going to get out of here?
You're trapped. No, like literally. Like.
Yeah.
All right, we're probably out of time, but just one more bonus question because I asked this on Twitter. I said, what would you like to know about Shaun Deeb? And they want to know if the Tim Duckworth beef is real. Between you and him, he keeps saying...
Listen, Tim wants to make himself a big deal. Tim wants to punch up, as they call it, in the streets. And Tim, with his awful, stupid fucking mustache, thinks he can come after Shaun fucking Deeb, all right? He's making me become more and more like Helmuth every single day. I don't understand why he thinks that anyone cares about Poker Go Studio besides himself. But he is trying to promote his business by using me as the catalyst. He has prompted up this weak little bitch in Dylan Wiseman, who doesn't belong in the conversation with any one of Team Lucky, let alone me, the coach. But unfortunately, people have come after me many times in my career. And, some of the people have come after me, the Bryn Kennys, the Hashtag Kings, 1,000 other scumbags. I put them in their fucking place. I don't think either of them are scumbags. I think they're not normal people. I think they're good people.
Not normal, but good.
They're normal idiots. That's all. Trying to take on Tim Lucky.
I offer a lot of side bets. I hope someone else believes his bullshit because I would like to print some equity. So fuck them. I'm coming after them, and they gave me all the motivation I need this summer to crush.
So, how many bracelets do you have so far this summer?
0.
How many does Dylan Wiseman have?
1.
Oh my God. Wow, so you're
And he's
behind.
got those cute little glasses too.
I hope you
I like
guys.
his
Do you
videos.
guys borrow glasses from?
Sunglasses, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Regular
Okay.
glasses.
Yeah,
that we might need to see.
I played with him yesterday in the PL08. He got to witness how great I play and how bad I run. Obviously, he was learning the 7 hands I was at the table, and and he was like, "Oh, I thought I would say something in your winner's interview." I'm like, "Maybe you're just a little bitch. Like you want to promote you now. You want to act like you're above me now that you won a 1,500 PLO. Win a 25K or 2 like I've done, and then maybe you'll be somebody."
That's good.
That's solid. Those are solid words to live by, guys. Win 25K or 2, and talk to Shaun Deeb.
I mean, I'm just happy to talk to him. I'm glad we've been friends. I feel like I've been grandfathered in with our friendship.
Robert 07, the fucking legend of Full Tilt.
Roberto 7, as some people used to call me.
Really?
Yeah. They
Even
thought,
I am terrible at reading. I thought of Roberto.
people always thought I was like a Mexican or whoever. They're like, "Oh, that's Roberto 7."
Oh, I get it now. I didn't think of the 0. Okay, yeah.
like,
This is how bad I am. I was like, wow, where did it get? Yeah, 0, yeah. Okay.
Roberto 7.
Yeah.
Same.
All right, well, you're way more popular than us, but where can people follow Shaun Deeb on the internet, and what do you want them to know about you?
I am just an X/Twitter member. Team Lucky may be in the streets in competition with you guys in the podcast realm soon.
That's all right.
Beautiful.
We can collaborate for all I care. I love all those guys. Oh, we're not going to collaborate? Oh my God, we're going to. Oh, it's like
We're going to
that.
start. Team Lucky, we destroy all.
Is that why Glance doesn't want to do our
No,
podcast?
no. I think we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. We have a crazy idea of a moderator, someone who has been the enemy of Team Lucky from last year.
Oh.
I should give you a hint if you have.
Who would be the enemy of Team Lucky?
You guys are so likable. I can't think of any
I
enemies.
can't either.
Sorry, do you just want to say it out loud? Or
No, because
Oh.
he hasn't confirmed he's willing to do it yet.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful.
But you know,
So why are you getting him to be the moderator then?
because I think the dynamic would be amazing.
Okay.
I think that there's a couple people that people might guess from these conversations, but it'll be fun. Listen, we're just 4 friends who like hanging out and shooting the shit, and we all keep each other in line. We all make each other a better person. We've all learned so much from each other. Like, you can't have better friends than those 3 guys. And
4 best friends that anyone could have.
listen, hey, when you have a good life and a good friend circle, nothing's better. And Josh got married a couple months ago. Dan's getting married in a couple months. It's been great to be with them, to see the change of both Dan and Josh, pre-Rachel for Josh and pre-Sarah for Dan. Like, you can see why they're so happy, and I think they're all going to be successful if they start families or not with them. And yeah, it's fun. It's been a crazy couple years, and I can't imagine how it can get crazier. But every time I say that, more ridiculous shit happens in my life. Like,
All right, well, thanks for doing this, dude.
Yeah.
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Appreciate it.
Bye, Internet.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. So what did I want to tell you that I couldn't say on pod? Oh,
Me and my buddy, we making all of this money. Yeah, I know it's rude to be bragging. They never catching us slacking. Me and my buddy, we working hard for this money. Whoa, you know I've been in my bag. Yeah. Buddy, I got it like that. Yeah, y'all better stop. Me and my boy gon' climb to the top. Sidekick game like Calvin and Hobbes. Batman and Rob. Y'all know me, I'm down for the cause.